with One Piece and wanted to see how his world building was.
Mhm.
And I took a lot of inspiration with that when it comes to world building. I think out of the big three, I took a little tidbit out of all of them. Because that's what I grew up with. I grew up with Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. So with Naruto, it was the kind of inspirational stuff of the main character. With Bleach, for me, it was the fight scenes and the costumes. I feel like Bleach has great costumes, great fight scenes, and with One Piece, it was the world building, and I wanted to like mesh that out. So that's honestly one of the reasons why it took me so long to feel comfortable to actually like release everything. Because if I did get a question, I can be like, haha, I got an answer. I'm not just waiting for it.
I
So
think it's funny you say the world building part of it because you're right. A lot of those franchises you just mentioned are really good on the world building aspect.
hmm
Opposed to Western animation where they're
yes.
just run and gun, and
hmm
it's kind of like short-winded series, and 8 episodes, maybe 10, 12,
hmm
whatever, done. Here's the story arc done. And when you those Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, when you mention all of these that have these very long runs and there is a world being built, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I literally seen a video earlier today where it was a convention and people they were going to a One Piece um, photo shoot,
hmm
and I didn't realize, I'm like, you know what, they really built a huge world, and it's not just them, it's Bleach built this huge world. My Hero Academia, just even though it's shorter than all of these, it still had a way of building a world. So
hmm
I think I think that's what's missing in a lot of storytelling is that world building. We get it in stuff like Lord of the Rings and even Game of
hmm
Thrones, but we don't get it in a lot of our animation that's over here.
hmm Yeah, I agree.
So, Navy question.
First of all, sir, bravo to you for that Master Roshi cosplay. Don't think I
Thank
wasn't
you.
going to see that because us Roshis got to stick together. And
Yep,
even though
100%,
you
100%.
know, even though you had to put on a beard, you represented. So thank you for that, sir. Because saying we got to do
I understand. I understand.
it. First of all, and second of all, I love what you've done with Valkyrie. I love the artwork. I love the style. Is there someone in the industry, whether it's manga, comics, animation, that you would love to work with if you did not have to worry about a budget? If money was not an object?
Ooh, um, so when it comes to the art of Valkyrie, so I actually shifted. I focus on the writing, and someone else actually helps me with the writing art portion. Sorry, but if I had to translate that to an anime, which I really want to do, it would be, I believe it's Stereo Period. I might be messing it up. The people that run Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, and Demon Slayer.
Oh
Um,
yes.
I forget. I know I'm messing up their name, but that's what I imagine Valkyrie being.
Oh my
A Fate
gosh.
Zero, that type of animation thing, because I feel like that's where the action scenes are going to shine. That's what I
Hmm.
would love. Like if I had like Disney money or like whatever money, YouTube money, that's what I would want to do. So
Okay.
yes, 100%.
I could
But
see
what?
that as an Unlimited Blades work esque
Yes,
type
yes.
production. Oh my gosh!
Mhm.
If y'all have never seen Unlimited Blade Works, you gotta check it
It's
out.
yes, yes.
Absolute fire.
hmm And if you look at some of the fight scenes in Valkyrie, you'll see inspiration from just Fate in general. To be honest with you, even that little like tidbit you guys played before, that's like I can imagine the jump scenes, the lightning, the her landing down and protecting the soldier, all of that stuff. I just think I can see that like right now.
That excitement that you're exuding is, I love it. I love it from creators. If you bring together a team and you make it work and it's something magical, people see it and they will gravitate to it. So yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. I'm beyond sold on this.
What I really appreciate is seeing more of us telling more of these stories. From whether it's from our point of view, whether it's seeing more of us in those stories, like Drolta in Castlevania. You know, just seeing these type of things happen. You know, shout out to Creative Theory World. You know, for all that man puts in work. Good Lord.
WERK.
You know, but once again, it's highlighting us. It's telling stories from a different point of view. It's telling different stories, period. You know, and we don't really get a lot of it. And I'm glad that we're in a space that we get to talk to people like you that are at conventions and they're just trying to get their work seen and read and supported and just seen. You know, because how many times can we say, yo, did you read anything from Godhood? Did you read anything from Wingless? Did you read anything from Midnight Comics? Did you read anything from these people and realize like, yeah, it's actually better than most mainstream stuff, you know, at least by today's standards, definitely by today's standards, and constantly having to fight and say, hey, why don't you do something with this character? Well, no, they said, well, we'll just create our own character. And we'll tell that story how we feel the best we can tell it. Thank you. So, thank you for that. So, what are your plans for Valkyrie? Like, are there any other plans outside of the Valkyrie universe?
Yes, actually. Valkyrie in general isn't my only thing that I'm personally writing. A lot of people ask me like, "Oh, the main character, is it kind of like based off of you?" And it's like, no, not really. The main character is like, you know, like kind of a lot of people I've kind of known a lot around my life, kind of mixed into one human being. A little bit of myself is in there, but like not a lot. I think my other passion projects, it's a manga called Burning Dreams, and that's where a lot of, you know, just the shonen in me is gonna come out. The straight up, you know, fighting, no exposition, just all this stuff. And it's also connected to it might be a little spoiler warning, but also connected to the Valkyrie universe. So that's what I really want. I don't really want to have just one little thing, and that's what kind of like Drifter Studios is in general, where I'm actually, you know, publishing Valkyrie. I want to bring on other people and eventually have like this universe and other things all over the place, full of a whole bunch of different comics, manga, light novels, a whole bunch of things that are like interconnected. And then you guys can have your own stories. When we have our like Thanos moment, it's when we all need to combine to like do our thing. So that's what like the overall thing is, what I really want to do. Just like another Marvel, another DC, another thing like that. Because of course, like I grew up in anime, and a lot of people are like, I wish Goku would fight Luffy. Like a lot of people say stuff like that, but you can't, because they're completely different things. But guess what? In Drifter Studios, we got Valkyrie versus X, Y, and Z, and they're connected somehow. So I mean, like that's what I would really like, and I think that's what's missing in anime. That, you know, I think American comics have that, not interconnectedness. So
true.
That nexus, so to speak.
Yes.
Having that nexus, yeah.
The ability to share and play well with others. Huh.
Yes.
That's just, I don't know, that screams
We don't do that here.
Yeah.
No.
Screams America. Yeah.
We don't do that here.
So I think Lizzie says take her. Lizzie says take her damn money if that's the case.
She means it too.
Yes, she does. So have you thought with the world like this, and just with that intro that I showed everyone, have you thought about animation?
Yes.
He says without taking a breath.
Yes. That's actually why I did that video. I was randomly scrolling TikTok, and this kid was doing bleach edits, and I was like, hey, how much do you charge to just do edits? He's like, oh, I'm in school for animation. Like, I'm down to help. So I was like, okay. So I sent him all that, and he helped me with that. I'm actually looking for people to help me with OSTs. I've been like, TikTok and convention have been my best friends on just, you know, finding a way to reach out to people. Also, real quick, another shout out. The person that did the cover of the new stuff, his name is Art by Day. He's the one that's helped me out a lot too when it comes to that. Me and him run a store here in Garland, Texas together. He's also, you know, connected me with a lot of people, and just, you know, that's my end all goal is, you know, an anime. So yeah.
Nice.
So, that could very well. There's not very well. There's a home for you at Blerd Station. Because
Whenever you're ready, boo.
yeah.
And it's
Like,
not a
whenever-
studio apartment either.
No.
That'd be awesome.
Blerd Station is a launching streaming service that has a lot of original content through comics, manga, and animation, and live action, and is all speculative fiction, and that is right up the alley of what we're about. So when people have, and rightfully so, when people sing Drolta in that last season of Castlevania and her working with the Orisha and everything, look, yes, there was a resounding roar, and yes, there was even a louder roar when she fought vampires on her own, and so and still came out alive. So yes, and yes, the hair texture, yes, the skin tone, all of that matters.
Yes.
So when we see those types of things being, represented, we want more. It's cool to have the Caps and the Captain Americas and the Iron Man. That's all cool. That's great. That's what we grew up on. At the same time, it'd be nice to see us. Be nice to see us. That's why everybody lost their collective minds in X-Men 97 when Cyclops said, "Show them the forecast." And here's your goddess. So when you see those type of things, and when you have these type of projects that don't get to see a light of day or don't get to be talked about, we want to push them to the forefront. We want to help them be seen and talk about it and have fun with it. And that's really what it ends up coming down to, is like having fun with that kind of project, because you can, there's no limits. Granted, we love the mainstream stuff, but there's walls, because there's somebody else's creations, and so there's only so far you can go. But when it's yours and you're independent and you're doing your thing, yes, there's blood, sweat, and tears that go into everything. However, nobody can tell you what to do with the character. Nobody can tell you what to do with their storyline. Nobody can say, nope, you can't do that because they're over here doing this. It's there's none of that. Unless you do that whole thing where, like, no, you can't use him just yet because they're over here right now. But you can't use them. You can use them. So
I mean, people are screaming Disney like a curse word now, I suppose. So I guess that's well into it.
I mean, it's a good and a bad thing with that. One end we get the Scarlet Witch. The other end we're just like, you could have done better with Secret Invasion. So
That's crazy. I'm sitting here thinking about Disney. Y'all talking about Marvel,
which is
under Disney, right?
Right.
But once again,
Disney, Marvel, Disney. There we go.
But once again, even in Disney, you did get some representation in certain corners of the world. We just don't get it enough. It's great when you see the Polynesian people being represented. It's great when you see Princess Tiana being represented. It's great when you see Princess Jasmine represented, because those are different nationalities. That's what we want. We just need to see them more represented. We need a solid base. There's nothing like seeing a video of D23 that just recently passed, and Anika Nani Rose, who was the voice of Princess Tiana, and the applause that her and Ming Na Wei got just alone from the crowd. They're just like, no, you don't understand. You are the prototype in this universe, and you need to be celebrated. You need to be seen, to the point she couldn't even get the speech out. It says something when you see Queen Angela Bassett, and that's how she's represented.
Yes.
She's the queen. She was like, no, you don't understand. Like it's a broad base of being represented in all these different worlds that we don't get enough of. So yes.
It's like a lot of us grew up with Disney, and while we appreciate everything that Disney provided, we still didn't see enough of us. And we still had that faith that we would see more of us. And when we finally started seeing more of us, you had those people who were so used to not seeing us up in an uproar because they see us and not more of them. But people are getting tired of the same old piece of paper. They want color. They want a full-blown picture. They want a portrait. So you see Princess and the Frog, and you see Mulan, and you see Moana, and all of these indigenous and melanated characters coming out, and children are vibing more with these characters than adults. And the kids are like, wow, she looks like my friend, he looks like my cousin. And adults are starting to just stop and realize, wow, our time has moved on. It's time for this generation to represent. So I'm appreciating it, but like Chris said, we need more of that. We need to see more of that.
You just can't drop a Mufasa and expect us to be happy.
That don't count. It counts, but it don't count.
Yeah, it counts, but it don't count.
Understand what I said? You can't expect to drop something on us and make it all and think that's enough. Because remember when the Lion King came out? Oh, we were so happy about Princess and the Frog. We were so happy about Lion King. We were so happy about XYZ. Go down the list. But like you said, they throw us a bone when it's like, look, the natives are getting restless. We have to do something to appease them. And it's like, oh, I got it. Let's do a Disney princess. Let's do Tiana. Let's get Neo on the soundtrack. Let's make it about them. They'll accept it. And then they'll go, and it's like, okay, quota fulfilled. We'll keep going on.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Question? Anybody? Anyone?
Are your characters going to have more human interactions with the gods? Like, is it balanced that way?
Yes, it's balanced.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all I can say is yes, it's balanced. Because that goes into like the lore of stuff. So yes, it's balanced.
Okay.
Very balanced. Very balanced.
Okay.
Are you ever gonna make it in color? Do you think?
What was that? Sorry. Oh, in color?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do, kind of like the Gaia page, was there's going to be certain pages, kind of like full spread pages that I want a different artist to do, and those would be in color. Full color, possibly not. I think when I do my comic book, yes, that would be full color, but I wanted this to be like an Americanized manga to where like my mom can read it, because my mom, she read it and she was like, oh, I get this, but you just read it backwards, and it's like, great. But if I give her a regular manga, she's like, this is harder, so blah blah blah. I wanted like everyone to be able to read it. But I also, like I said, I grew up in anime and manga, and it was always my dream to make some type of manga thing and be a mangaka. So that was kind of like the first project I wanted to release.
So what was you said One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, those are the ones are those the ones you were introduced to, or just some of your favorites?
So kind of a funny story how like I was introduced into anime in general. So I have a couple stories about that. When I first watched anything anime, I didn't know it was anime. My dad actually went to this DVD store, a VHS store, back from California, so I was back in Cali. And he was like, yeah, my kids are looking for some new cartoon to watch. And this guy gave him Dragon Ball Z. And he just puts it on. But the problem with that was I was about 7 and my brother was 4. So when you popped it in, it wasn't like a normal Dragon Ball Z episode. It was the Cell Saga, the Android Saga. And Android, I think 15 or 16 was killing Yamcha. So all you saw was blood on the screen.
It was 15.
My dad looks at me and my brother.
Oh, and you got the unedited version.
We got that unedited version. So my dad looks at me and my brother. He's like, "Don't tell your mother." She's like, "Don't tell your mother." So,
yo, I'm sorry.
Classic.
I did my kids the same way.
Yeah. So that was my introduction to anime, but I didn't know it was anime. I just thought it was a regular cartoon. My first thing that actually made me fall in love with writing in anime was actually this anime called Elfenlied or Elfenlight. I always mess it up.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I was actually
This
is when we got cable in my house, and it was Time Warner cable. My parents were like, "Hey, y'all want to go to the store?" I was like, "Nah." My brother like, "Nah, we're good." And they're like, "Well, just stay home." And we go instantly right to on demand. So it was Anime Network, and we clicked on the first episode.
Oh my gosh.
Old girl
watched
was
it. I was
fucked up.
11. I was 11. He was a little bit younger, and then you know what happens in the beginning. I'm not gonna explain it.
Mhm.
Yes.
But like, we
Yeah.
watched it.
Never
and
ask for
we were
coffee
like,
in the first scene. That's all I'll
Straight
say.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Never ask for coffee in the first scene.
It's crazy. And like, I watched it, and that was actually my first ever binge with my brother. All episodes were on there. We watched it in one sitting, and it made me realize how much I liked storytelling because it was a crazy anime, but the
Mhm.
premise was so simple of being apologetic and sorry. The main character was so sorry and apologetic. She did like all that stuff. It was a crazy way of explaining it. But I mean, I understood it at that young age, and that's kind of when I fell in love with anime. After that, it was Fullmetal Alchemist. After that, it was just all the classics. It was pretty much everything. And after that, I started reading manga. I was a manga kid at school. Instead of reading my stuff for football, I would have a big Shonen Jump book. I'd be reading that, so my coaches would get on to me like, "Hey, you need reading your plays." I'm like, after this chapter, but like, but that's kind of how everything started with all that.
I wouldn't say it wasn't my first foray into anime, but it was definitely one of the more adult themed animes, and I didn't realize it, and it was Wicked City.
Oh yeah,
and I
good Lord,
it was
Sir.
pay-per-view, and I'm like, okay, I had just seen Crying Freeman. This was the days when ECW was still on the air, cable access. So it was ECW. Then after ECW went off, you would get like a random anime movie. It could be Lupin the Third. It will be Crying Freeman. It will be something. It will be something, right? And I was like, really? So I'm like, it's an anime. Wicked City. I like the way it sounds. It reminds me of Men in Black. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, my mother comes downstairs, and in Navy, the scene. It was the opening scene. It was
yes. Oh my God, bro.
Let's just say the perp they were chasing was a woman, and she goes into a tunnel, and it turns out she's like this alien / spider type hybrid.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and my mother was like, "Wait, are you watching porn?" No, no.
It's spider coochie, mother. Spider coochie.
There was no censorship on that.
Yeah,
and yet I recommend it to my friends. Yeah, you want something to really throw you? Get a glass of wine. Watch Wicked City. I'll see you in a day.
I'm crying.
A glass of
wine.
Y'all
setting people up. I can't.
It was literally that moment of like, no, it's not. I swear. I had first viewing, had no clue. I just heard it. They said violence and something else, violence and cursing. That's what it said.
You had Wicked City. I had Ninja Scroll, and that's what my dad walked in on me on.
No.
And that scene is like, you old enough. I get that you old enough to watch it.
The crazy thing is, I didn't really get a chance to binge anime until I got into the Navy, where I wasn't around my parents. And oh my God!
Wait, it's the way he said, "Oh,
Lord."
I'm crying. Yeah, he was singing right there.
Yeah, because when I sat down, I was like, "What is this? And why can't I stop watching it?" Fist of the North Star, fuck me up. Fist of the North Star. I'll never see someone's fingers the same ever again.
You are already dead.
Nah.
Julia.
When I think about it, I think some of the worst anime that I've ever watched was always it was a recommendation from my kids, my students. They would literally, I would be like, they knew I loved anime. We'd be chilling, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, Miss Chloe, you need to go watch such and such." Me sitting here like, okay. I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I mean, every single time I would come back after I would be like, why do I keep doing this? But it would be like, I need to tell y'all, why are you watching this? This ain't for you, baby.
Good show.
They set up Shoyo like they set up Kev on stage. It was like,
me sitting here like, I said, we can't discuss this. I don't know why you thought this was gonna be a talking point. I can do this with my folks.
We are not with
And They show you every time. Hey, Miss Shoyo, you want to watch something else? With a smile on their face.
And be like, yeah, buddy, yeah, I'm gonna go check it out on my own, and then I'll come back to you the next day and let you know if we can watch this. Yeah, not gonna get me in trouble.
Or if I need to call your mother.
Yeah, to show you, my mommy recommended Food Wars because
let me tell you,
you like food, so Food Wars.
Let me tell you, I love Food Wars, and I forced my dad to watch some episodes with me because it was about food. And my dad was like looking at me like, can you imagine? Because he's a tracker, so I also made him watch a track anime called Run with the Wind, really good. Yes. Because I was like, I gotta appeal to this man with the stuff that he likes to get him to watch anime. So food and track. So he was watching it and he was like, oh, like this is interesting. Then it got to when the clothes started falling off, and he was like,
blasted off, you mean?
Take a taste of my food and
it was so funny because he didn't really say anything on those parts. He would say something when they were talking about the food, like, oh, I can just taste the hint of ginger. It's like a tablespoon of cinnamon in here. My dad's like, how? It made me see food different, but he was talking, but anytime I could just sense that he was looking at me like,
the fuck are you in
here? Me just like, I'm straightforward. I'm looking at the screen and that's it.
Watching, but I got a bond with it. It's like,
and I wasn't a kid; I was an adult at the time, but still, I was like, "Hey, I got to get you in this."
That's how you know your dad loves you. Your dad loves you because
it's that.
Hey, man, I can't get my mama to do it. My mom will never, but my father, I can get him to watch anime. Yeah,
not the convert.
Yeah.
Man. So before we go to break, Glenn, where can people find your book right now?
Right now, so it's going to be on Webtoons for the next month or so. I'm actually developing a website so I can actually put everything because Webtoon does this creative copyright thing, but it's on Webtoons right now as Valkyrie. I also do have links to it on my Instagram, which is sensei_honor, and it's H0 and 0R. Those are the two places, but after a month, so I'm releasing the second chapter on October 20th. So that's when everything's shifting over to the website.
Beautiful. We will be talking about a little bit of news that dropped. Creative Theory World's in the house. He said,
what up, man?
Watching Ghost in the Shell, and his mother came home from church, and the stare down was wild. So yeah, we all have seen animes and like, okay, I didn't realize that was going to happen. I swear I didn't know that was going to happen, but
nobody told me.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, this is what happens. We will be right back with our guest, Lynn Dickson. We're going to talk about a little bit of news and who had bigger impacts on the comic industry. We'll be right back.
I'm Tony Weaver Jr., author of Weirdo and player of Magic the Gathering, and you are watching Blerd's Eye View.
Blerd's Eye View is a proud affiliate of Otaku Noir. Use the code Blerd's Eye View for 10% off on all items. With a different nerd-themed box filled with items made by talented blerds across the country, you surely will not be disappointed. Go to otakunoir.com. Otaku Noir, the #1 Blerd mystery box company. And speaking of Otaku Noir, you can get their spooky box, limited edition, very limited boxes. You can go to otakunoir.com, go to Blerd's Eye View, get 10% off that box item, and you will not be disappointed when you get that new box from Otaku Noir. But we are back again with our guest, Glenn Dickson. Let's get this back together. We got the whole crew in the building here. There we go, and there we are. So, with the news, of course, comes everything. Brucey. Batman gets his own star on the Walk of Fame. Isn't that something?
It's about freaking time.
Are you dead ass?
Yeah.
About freaking time.
Yeah,
Like the character or the actor?
Character. No,
The character.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a gold. He gets his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
So here's a question: has Superman gotten his?
I don't know. That is a very good question.
Oh, you know, gonna be some salty people. You know,
yeah.
there's gonna be some salty people. Oh,
That is not good.
okay.
Somewhere Bruce is like this. Gotcha.
Right.
Batman is the lady beat me. I mean, Kira beat me to it. Batman's the first one.
Show yourself both are ass. That's her hot take.
Hey man, I will never forget being in the airport. I was on the phone with Mandalore and Liv. I don't know if Mandalore remembers. I got my food. I sat there. They, for whatever reason, we were all talking about superheroes, and they were going hard for these two. I was sitting here like, hey man, I don't know, I don't care. I just think they're both ass. The way Mando and them both turned towards me, and I was just sitting here like, hey man, you got me arguing in front of all these people at the airport, and all I said, okay, was that they was ass. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wow.
And I bet you anything, somebody's listening to you say that and go, yep. Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
Yeah.
come on now.
It's a level of petty that I'll take, whatever.
Hashtag John Stewart is my Superman.
I'm crying.
It's like, well, if it works, it works. Bruce can be petty. If Kendrick has a level of petty, and we know 50 Cent got a level of petty,
Facts.
why not?
Oh yeah.
50 Cent
Hey, I
crazy,
can
bro.
go up for the boogeyman.
Whew. Lady Mandalore still giving show you the sideline.
Wow.
Hey,
Don't you really? You're gonna do the stink face and then just disappear?
But I can
you remember that combo?
I do.
We remember.
That was a
I
moment.
know.
Oh, man.
As you know, Agatha All Along premieres this week on Disney Plus. First 2
Tomorrow.
episodes. Yes, we're talking about it Thursday. But there has been a lot of talk about Scarlet Witch. Now, she recently had her solo series in Marvel. What was it, last year? I think it was last year. And I don't know if it's because of Agatha, but there has been a lot of talk about Elizabeth Olsen coming back. She wants to come back as long as the character is written well. Fans want her to come back. Like, you can't do a Disney Plus series about her husband and still not have her floating around somewhere.
Pretty much.
And then you're getting ready to have Wonder Man come out, and that's a whole nother story. So
Fire.
It makes me wonder, are they actually working on something behind the scenes? Because we're all comic book heads in some form, or pop culture nerds,
Or fanaticism.
You know, if there's not a body, they ain't dead.
Pretty much.
My man.
That's the rule.
That is the rule. All we've seen was the Wundagore Mountain crash and a flash of red light. That's all we've seen. And if you listen to last week's show or watch last week's show, we had the discussion of the script that never seen the light of day of what Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be. And it makes you even wonder, like, yo, yeah, y'all need to get back in the writing room and figure this out. Is plain and simple. But I think I would like to think that there's a resurgence. I would like to think. It's funny because Lady Mando was like, she's eating behind the banner of her name.
Oh my God.
I would like to think that there is some talk of her coming around. You know, she's well liked. She's well liked. Elizabeth Olsen is well liked. And the only thing I didn't like is like, wait, what happened to your accent? Wanda, what happened?
That Slovakian accent went away.
It fell away like the tears from
She
my
said,
brother.
I spent too much time with all you other motherfuckers in the U.S.
I am crying.
Yeah.
Aren't you crying? We are
I
crying.
kind of understand because if I stay anywhere for too long that they have a heavy accent, I'm gonna catch on,
Instantly.
and it's not good.
You said that's not good.
Nah, hey man, my parents sent me on a I went on a trip to visit someone in one summer. It was only for like a week, but I was around some super southern Louisiana people. I came back and I had it deep. My mother was like, "So you just gonna come back home? You gonna come?" My mother said, "You gonna come back home just talking like a whole Louisiana person?" I was like,
it was like, ooh, I'm gonna make a name.
I'll make a name for myself.
No, I tell people all the time that because after I saw the movie, I was like, oh, okay, because it feels like he was. It's funny because it's Tatum, it's Channing. It doesn't feel right, but I literally was telling people, I was like, I promise you, if you go to deep Louisiana Cajun country, you're gonna find someone that sounds like that, and it's gonna be real.
He said that's how he learned it.
Yep.
That's how they talk. If you don't know, or you're not, and you've never heard it, you would think it's fake. I'm like, no, you go deep enough, that's how they sound.
Because both of my sides of my family are from Louisiana, so it's like, yeah.
I was in the Navy with a guy who was a Bayou boy, and it was so wonderful to hear him speak and just ask him a question and just listen to him talk. I just genuinely love that Creole accent, but people thought he was fake too. It's like he talks like this every day. What's wrong with you? Okay.
Yeah, man, they don't be thinking it's a real place, but it's like it is. Go to New Iberia. I want you to think about how they sound.
He said it's a real place.
Yes.
So we have 2 trailers to check out. One of them is Transformers 1, and it drops this Thursday.
There she go.
And here it is. We're going to check it out right now. And here we go.
It's Optimus Prime.
The filthy red and blue bot? Yeah. Gives off a corroded metallic stench.
Okay, corroded, that is too far.
Okay.
When 2 worlds about to get hard to survive, transforming box in the sky.
You have the power to make your world better. But this fight is mine.
Standing on business, ready for revenge. It's the sweetest victory, that's a win.
Okay, so he's a little intense.
Yeah, just a little.
Now is the time to stand together.
No, it's time to fight back.
Please don't do this.
You need to move out of my way before I move you myself.
I done made it through the work. 10 toes down, never catch me in the dirt. Supercharged and it don't quit. Feel like us against the world, we gon' take the risk.
All that counts is the strength of one bot over another.
He's too strong.
Look me in my eyes and tell me what I'm supposed to be. I never walked up to anybody chose me.
Until next time.
We won't stand for the heat.
So based off of that alone, I mean, I was already on board.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering my dinner at the theater already. So yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, but based off just those action scenes alone, I say, yeah, Optimus is him. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
So
no, it looks like a really good movie. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
I love that they decided to create an origin story since we have never gotten one. We have no idea why they were at each other's throats or anything. And that just speaks to the storyteller in me, because we all grew up with the Transformers movie. Oh my gosh, those scenes still resonate with me. But to see this,
Optimus always had hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always had hands.
Oh yeah, he always did.
You got the touch.
We got the power.
They basically did to the last trailer to say we gonna show you the fight stuff, because in every other trailer it's been funny stuff in my opinion. They said the final trailer it's just gonna be hands, because I didn't see nothing funny. Okay,
no, it was all hands. It's like it's all smoke. It's all smoke.
Right.
We're not here to play games. We look here, and it's like it was in it as much as the Michael Bay Transformers kind of went left. It still fits his vehicle of everything exploding. It just makes sense. But just storytelling wise, it did go left on certain things. But one thing never changed. Optimus always had hands. Every film, that man had hands. You know, even my wife was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." I said, you see what I'm talking about? This is what it was for me." It was like, how they gonna jump him? I said, hold on, he got it.
Yep. The second movie, the second Michael Bay movie, when he's like, "I'll take you all on," and he cooks. I remember that.
Like, no, let him cook. I'm like, he gonna do it. You know, she was like, no, how they gonna jump him? He want that. You don't understand.
It's even ons now.
What he say? What he said in the one? He was just like, "Give me your face."
Yeah.
He proceeds to rip it off. I'm like, that's that dude. That's not who you don't want to mess with him. So yeah, I know that I'll be going to see this. My only thing wasn't something, and this is something I had to learn when I found out who was doing the voice work, which was Brian Tyson Henry for Megatron and Chris Hemsworth, Tyree, for Megatron, and Chris Hemsworth as Optimus. I was like, that's interesting choices. You know, considering the fact that we're used to hearing Peter Cullen, and it's really hard, you know, and I had to learn over this, you know. Batman, perfect example. Superman is another example for the voice work. Even the Flash, that sometimes they have, who is it? Who does Rocket's voice?
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Still to this day, you can show me him doing it, and it's just like,
it's not him.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like, because it's that good. And it's like some of these people actually have a skill set that we just didn't know about. And there it is. It just works. So yeah. Rise of the Beast had a different vibe. It was like, we're gonna go original. We're gonna go original, but with a little bit of this. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it because it's Transformers. You know,
and that's what they were banking on. Transformers. That's the selling point, right? It's Transformers, Mom.
Yeah. You know, it's just like this question. And I wanted to save that question, but for another show. But it's just like in who's all the Star Wars fanatics between me and Mando? It's just me and Mando, really.
Yeah.
I'm not
Star Wars.
So,
we
take Star Wars. We'll take Star Wars, good or bad, because we've seen the bad, we've seen the good, we've seen the spectacular. End of the day, it's still Star Wars. And
it does give me stroke face, though. There's some shit.
Look, as much as I love the storytelling of the prequels, the visuals, as far as the CGI, are not good. They don't hold up well. And that stroke face that Lady M gives I'm like, that doesn't look good. But the storytelling, immaculate. It was there, right? You know, so when I see stuff like, you know, the Acolyte, which I probably can say for the most part, it was never the acting.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It was never the choices for the people who's playing whomever. It was a slow burn that for the amount of episodes it had, you should have given a couple more episodes or not have it too slow of a burn.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem, because your story is there, but it was so short.
Yeah.
It was so and it was just like, okay, you're starting here, and then you like, oh, bam, and then like,
whoopsie,
yeah, and it's like,
with
okay, you needed either a better pacing. That's what it is. You need
How
better.
dare you give a Smiley no Ren with no backstory?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was the lightsaber fights. That's the best part that I loved. I can't.
Oh yeah.
That for me was like, hey, yay.
Yeah. Yo, they was getting it in. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this, give us more of this, because
Mhm.
we're just like, okay, we're getting somewhere, because it was almost a false narrative of showing us the stars that you had, only to bump them off so quickly.
Mhm.
The main star, the main characters, to bump them off so quick. And I'm like, you have 8 episodes and you're basically killing the cast. It doesn't help. You got rid of a Wookiee. I wanted to see a Wookiee.
I know, off screen. I was like, this is cool. On the floor dead. That's a budget right there.
Wookiee Jedi. I just want to take out.
Where's my Wookiee Jedi? I'm like, you give me a Wookiee with a lightsaber, and now I want to see him fight. So, and we didn't get it, and I was disappointed. So, for those incels that are mad because it's a woman, that was never our case. We didn't give 2 shits about that. It was, your pacing was too slow for the amount of episodes that you have. It was like, okay, you might want to bump this up a little bit. I get it. Never go into a franchise saying, I wanted to tell my story. Stop. Do you know of this universe? Is the question.
Can you respect it, please?
Can you respect the universe? That's the question. Don't just go random and tell anything. If you want to do that, do Rebuild the Galaxy. That's fun.
Or make your own goddamn story. It's working out really well for your Snyder friend over there.
Yeah.
I mean, said, nah, I'd prefer to ruin this. That's okay.
Yeah, see, like, I mean, when I thought about The Mandalorian, it tells a completely different story.
You can't tell me shit about that fucking series.
Oh my god!
You can't tell me nothing about that series.
Yeah, it's a completely different story outside of, but within that same universe, and you told it well.
So well, you're getting a movie out of it.
Thank you.
Oh, for real?
Give us that. That's all we're asking.
But I just said that we're getting a movie out. I'm holding my breath. I'm holding my breath.
It's all right. Okay, but that's fair. That's fair. That's fair, because it's like the ex that cheated. I'm not gonna do it again.
On the weekends.
On the weekend. So it makes you wonder. It makes you really wonder, like, why did they? Some choices, it breaks my heart when I hear directors get into some of these known franchises and say, "Oh, I wanted to tell a story that was my own." You kind of have to there's no kind of. You kind of you need to respect the source material.
Yeah.
You can't steer left and just tell a story. You can tell a side quest, but you can't just say, "Okay, we're not gonna introduce Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin. We're gonna introduce Norman Hill." Why are you changing the name? I don't understand.
That's like giving Norman Osborn a Jerry curl. We're expecting the waves.
Stop.
Just say you don't have the money. Just say that.
Wow.
I mean, it's not like y'all wanted to, it's not like your first Doctor Doom wasn't the better Doctor Doom, because the other Doctor Doom that we got was some integrated hacker. I guess.
Yeah, really weird face, dude.
Yeah,
I couldn't help his mask.
And then only to turn him into a crash test dummy. Come on, there's problems with this. Look here, you know. Yeah, the Orville is a very great example, and it was a love letter to Star Trek. You're correct, and that Orville is fantastic. And I think we are getting another season. From
the show.
Yeah, I think we're getting another season. According to Jay Lee, because we interviewed him at BlerdCon. Yeah, I think we're getting another season of the Orville.
Yeah,
so that's that. Trust me, if you want to show you, I don't know if you've never watched Orville.
I have not.
Okay, so it's by the creator Seth MacFarlane, who created Family Guy and American Dad, and it gives you, I think that first season, it gives you a little bit of that comedy, but you start seeing, but as most shows do with their first season out, they're finding their legs. But they slowly begin to create, once again, world building and this whole new thing. And it's giving you part Star Trek, and then it's its own thing.
Yep. More Babylon 5, actually, but
yeah. And you're right. And it's beautiful. It's actually I think it's that was their fifth season. I think it's 5 seasons. By the time you just get to the 5th season, you're just like, this is really good. I was painting the living room and scrubbing the floor and stopping and just like, yo, this is good. I binge watched it the entire freaking weekend watching this thing, and I'm like, yeah, I need more.
So, yeah, it is definitely. Like I said, I have to give old boy, because you would not think the guy from Family Guy would be so passionate about the Orville, because he's a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
So the fact that he really takes that more passionate than Family Guy, and we've seen Family Guy and all the routes they've taken, that says a lot.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said for something like that, for a show like that. And when you get a lot of properties that are ingrained, you either continue on with the story or you tell something outside of that. Skeleton Crew. I can't wait for that. I can't. You're telling something within this universe, but it's its own story.
That is not.
Wow, Shoyo said uppercut.
She came back in here all high and mighty. Okay,
if people can see the private chat, because it's not the public chat, it's the private chat.
Ooh, Shoyo is chopper.
Yeah,
she is.
But yeah, it's I would prefer to have more stories being told. If you're going to tell that story, if you're going to be in that universe, tell that story outside that. It doesn't have to be the Skywalker saga. We don't want that. We actually want to kind of walk away from that. We want these different stories.
Let it die.
Yeah, we're done with it. We don't have to worry about it. Can center it can circumvent around it. It can do whatever it wants. But tell us another story. Tell us that story about Lando talking to the young lady at the end of the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That was weird though.
It was the way it was fed. That's the way that line was fed, and considering who it is, we were just like,
so
are you hitting on her?
Not that I could have been your daddy line.
It was hard. You kind of have to watch it more than once. You were like, oh no, you're serious about helping her find herself. But because it's Billy D. Williams, we were kind of like,
ew.
Not ew.
Like, Lando, we know what you've done with the robot. I don't know what you're doing.
As soon as start speaking here, Barry White playing in shadowy music in the back. Yeah, baby.
Oh no!
I think you would have watched that scene right ever again. That's all I'm gonna hear is Barry White.
was like see, music is everything.
Mm-hmm.
I play Barry White. It sounds like he's hitting on her, but he was playing like the Star Wars type music where you're just like, oh no, he's trying to help her find herself. It
music was the
different
influence.
way. Yeah, music is
Yeah,
the
it was the
influence.
influence.
But yeah, like I said, I seen Rebuild the Galaxy Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
So
4 episodes. Watch it. It's fun.
Here's a question that I have, and I know Chris could probably relate to this, and maybe a few others. You have the space operas, you have Star Wars, you have Star Trek, but there are some that did not get the shine that I would like to see them do.
Firefly.
They redid. They brought Firefly. Bringing Firefly back would be phenomenal. They did Battlestar Galactica, and I think they did an amazing job with it. But one franchise that did not get the shine, besides Farscape, was Space 1999.
Ooh.
Space 1999 did not get the shine that it deserved because it was a story that could have just gone in so many different directions. If y'all have never heard of it, while everybody was watching Star Trek, I was watching Space 1999. To me, it was way more relatable, and I enjoyed it more because it seemed more realistic, and yet it was really fantastic. I would like to see them bring that franchise back.
Interesting. I can dig that.
I would love to see that because the moon breaks away from orbit.
I'm sorry, it made me think of Thundar the Barbarian, and it was just like in the year that it's supposed to happen, it's just like, yo, none of that happened, my guy. We've gone 20 years past that now. We're good. But yeah, I think what when I see those type of franchises, Star Wars, and I'll always like I'm at my big age now. I can watch Star Trek with a better appreciation for what goes on in it. Because I didn't, as a kid, you couldn't get me to watch it. I was into Star Wars. I still am. Like, that's where my life was at. You can't take me to see Star Wars and then turn around like Star Wars is on TV. And as a kid, I'm like, you just took me to the theater to go see Star Wars.
Right.
It's on television already?
Sorry.
Immediately suspect.
You do realize, Mother, that you've raised me on Batman. So I'm going to pick apart these
honest
things.
upbringing.
I'm just like, are you sure you know what you're talking about? Like my grandmother, no, it's on now. I'm like, where's Luke?
So
I don't know none of these people.
So here's a good question for everyone who is into space operas and stuff. What franchise could you see being a reimagining or perhaps a retelling? Now we'll broaden it. Anything fiction, fantasy, anything supernatural, anything like that. It's already been out. Yes, there's no pause on that one because I'm a supernatural fan.
Wait, I apologize, Navy. Shoyo, please stop being so goddamn stubborn.
I was waiting.
Cut your shit in the comment section. Stop feeding that shit.
I'm talking to you. It's a love letter to you.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. The way she said that is, I'm sorry. If you see Churchy, it's like, that's what you choose to do, friend.
The level of
been ping ponging off each other. It's like China and Korea just bop, bop, bop. Like,
sorry, Navy. But
Whoopi makes a good one. Buck Rogers. That's a good movie.
Buck Rogers, I can see.
I think for me, it will probably be like Starship Troopers. It'll be, I know it sounds weird, but I think that getting some type of like maybe a little bit something more serious or like venture up to other planets. I think something like Starship Troopers would be really cool.
Would you like to know more?
Oh,
The Last Starfighter. The Last Starfighter.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We should have had another one for that.
I could go for another one. That Enemy Mine. Enemy Mine is another one.
Beat me to it. Shoot. I had that in the jar. I had that ready to go, and I got to think of another one.
I would like to see Andromeda.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see Andromeda.
Without Sorbo, of course.
Without
without confused Sorbo.
Yeah. Yes. Without Kevin confused.
Replace him with Lucy Lawless, and we call it a deal.
Hey,
there we go.
I am not against that at all. Shoot. Well, we're going that route. Well, it's not really space based, but damn it.
They tried to do it.
It'll come back to me.
I did like the new reimagining of Charmed.
No, Brother from Outer Space. Yeah, no, for real.
Yes,
Brother from Outer Space. Yeah,
it needs to be redone badly.
Yeah.
Every show that needs to be redone. That was it.
What was the one David Bowie did? They had this show too, and the show was actually doing well, in my opinion.
With him was the Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah. I can't think of the name right now.
Shoot, you got me looking that up now. I got Major Tom playing in my head.
No, not Lucy Liu show, yo. Lucy Lawless.
No, I heard you.
Oh, but no, now that you say Lucy Liu, don't mind that neither. I'm saying, I'm like, you're replacing Sorbo with two strong female characters, whatever.
That would work though. Just say he got killed off in a horrendous fire, and move on.
No, no, Bama, no, never, ever, never.
He said not ever, but ever.
I don't know. Homeboys from Outer Space can go die in a small garbage fire.
I think it did.
So that's a real thing for real. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Brought to you by UPN.
The Underpaid Negroes Network.
Right. Welcome back, Negroes.
What about V?
What is it?
What about V?
Yeah, V would work. V would
the last one they did with Marina Bassarin as the queen. Yeah. I think it's due. I think it's due for another one.
It's due for at least not even retelling, but an updated version. Like what happened. Oh my god!
I would accept it.
Earth Girls are easy. Jeff, I don't know.
I will accept.
Wow!
Can you really improve on Jeff Goldblum in his early 20s? Can we really improve on that?
In our current,
you had a nice little trio there: Jim Carrey, Jeff Goldblum, and Damon Wayans.
Yeah, that's
social media. Yeah, that would really work.
Right. It's like, could you really improve on that?
I don't know.
There were so many to choose from that I think just did not get the shine that they deserve, and I think it's a trial.
They live.
Ooh,
put on the glasses.
Ooh,
as wild as the concept is, you'll never get over the fight scene.
Oh, that fight scene! Put on the glasses, Tom. Put on the glasses.
There's nothing like watching Roddy Piper and our very own. I'm sorry, I can't think of it.
What's going on?
And watching that Roddy Piper and Keith David go hand to hand in an alleyway over some damn sunglasses. Just put the damn glasses on. They was putting the shit out of each other. They was putting
but the ending still has to be there.
The ending was so wild. That ending was wild, man.
Escape from New York, I could go with that.
Yeah.
Snake Plissken, yeah.
I think if they do that, they need to introduce a different character as the main character, but have Snake as perhaps someone who has gone in and out of the escapes all the time, says, I'm done. I'm retired.
Yeah. Like, what are you looking for me for? Type of thing. Yeah.
Right. We need your skills. I'm retired. I don't do this shit no more.
I shut the lights out on you guys last time.
Bama had a good one too, but again, that's from the UPN network. But 7 Days was a good show. 7 Days.
Wow.
They actually did redo it. It's called something on TNT now. It's about time travel. The Lazarus Project. There we go.
That's it.
They tried to do it like that, which was okay, but
So
It's
yeah,
like,
I think there's several people who, or several franchises or even movies, I wouldn't mind them tapping into to kind of,
you know, damn it, that's what I was gonna say. Bring back shows like Viper.
wow. The vehicle that was supposed to be the long form commercial of the Ford Viper.
Pretty much. The 2-season longest ever running commercial for a Dodge vehicle. You want to outrun people? Get a Viper.
Right. Yeah, it was Dodge Viper. Cool concept though, but I was just like, it's like a knockoff Knight Rider.
It is. Although Team Knight Rider was horrible, but we never didn't even come back at all.
Trash Team Knight
Rider. If you want to talk about a show that was advertising for vehicles, that show. Every specialized car was a Ford vehicle. No wonder it broke down so much.
Like the brother had a truck. He had a whole truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, y'all got money to make all these cars talk? And y'all need a team?
I'm tripping on the fact, how in the world do you have a carrier that can just land anywhere, but yet these are the vehicles that you have? It's like, sir, you landed on a busy ass 4-lane highway and you're giving me a Ford F-150.
You couldn't get away with that now. Not with the way traffic is nowadays. You couldn't get away with that.
Man.
That part.
I got a question. It was something that Tafari had recorded when he was out at DreamCon, and I think it's a very good question because in our group chat it did cause a lot of conversation, not bad conversation, but what writers or artists had major impacts in the comic industry? Like that discussion was Alan Moore and Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And while they both have major impacts, I was leaning more towards Alan Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alan Moore, his storytelling is, he's a curmudgeon now, but at the end of the day, he has a very extensive storytelling background.
Yeah.
Frank Miller was more in my eyes, Frank Miller's biggest claim to fame is his run on Daredevil.
Yeah.
And then Sin City.
Sin City, yeah.
Sin City, yeah.
Those are his biggest grabs, right? And then it wasn't until, and this was held in the conversation, it wasn't until they took some of his properties, Sin City, the Spirit, and everything else, which not his property, but he was able to write it, turn it into film and in 300 and turn them all into film, and that's when he kind of had a resurgence. And while the Sin City run was not bad because it was every bit the book. Same with 300. It should have just stopped right there. I didn't need sequels. I didn't need a sequel or a prequel to Sin City, which was A Dame to Kill For or Die For, which came literally came like 10 years later. Which I'm like, well, it's too late now because that trend of tapping into that crime noir, you missed it. It should have came out like a year or two later.
Mm-hmm.
You waited 10 years and these people have moved on and everything. And now you got to tell a
See, we say comics, we say artists who impact the industry. My mind went straight to Todd McFarlane. Just because of Spawn, of Batman, and various other comics he's also been attached to. So between him and who's the guy that did Thor? Walter Simonson.
Walter Simonson.
There we go. So that was gonna be my two. The guy that basically the only reason why we saw Thor comics is because of him. So
we got
I was gonna say Jim Lee.
We think
yeah.
Neil Adams.
Neil Adams, Jim Lee. Neil Adams' run on Batman's amazing.
I'm gonna say Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh yeah. His run on Black Panther had officially made it on my list as one of my favorites, next to Don McGregor and Christopher Priest and Reggie Hudlin. Those four telling stories about Black Panther were amazing. Just hands down, just great stories. Not just because I'm a fan of like, no, you really told stories, you know. And Coates' run, I'm like, oh, you're going there, and I love it. You know, you're like they told great stories, but you're going into history. You're going into the ancestors. You're tapping. You're just like, oh no, we're gonna tap into this. You know, and he told it. So yeah, those are great moves. Great. His run is amazing.
Yeah. I was trying to find it, but I think the artists that did the Injustice kind of line, I feel like DC kind of took that, like when that came out, a lot of their not movies, but cartoons, all that kind of like shifted to like that art style, like right after when that came out. And I really think that impacted DC a lot.
Was that Geoff Johns that did that for Injustice? Maybe.
Jeff
Right?
Yeah, it was Geoff Johns. Yeah, it was Geoff Johns.
Yeah. Geoff Johns had amazing. He had Green Lantern, Flash. He had some.
That man made Brightest Day and Blackest Night the talk of the comic world. You did not know about the other Lantern Corps until he wrote that story. And it still has an impact to this
He was
day.
on a tear. He was on a tear for a few years. Like he did the Flash, and then he did Green Lantern, and then he turned around and did Aquaman. He was the reason why I had bought Aquaman for a while, because I was like, this guy's work is good.
Yeah.
Controversial sort of one, but definite. Bruce Timm.
Yeah.
No, there's no controversy involved. No controversy.
He did the damn thing. He did the damn thing.
Only for me, Bruce Timm is the animated series only in my head. But he drove me to fully dive into the DC side of things, only for Batman, clearly. But that he pushed me over to that.
Also, another reason why the French horn remains undefeated.
Yeah. Wimpy says Chris Claremont and James Tynion, the fourth. I'm sorry. And yeah, because I'm like, wait, I looked at that backwards.
Which way does it go?
Chris Claremont's run on X-Men.
James Tynion is a savage.
I'm about to say Claremont is the reason why X-Men is
masterful work.
Yeah,
masterful work. And there's another Jonathan Hickman is another one.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman, but Neil Gaiman with the man. So
I was gonna say Neil Gaiman, yeah. You see, what's crazy about James Tynion, if you want that comic that has that psychological thriller that just grips you in the story, that man has just been doing ridiculous things. Something's Killing the Children is still going and being one of the most popular titles out because it's ridiculously good.
Yeah, Whoopi agrees. She said Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman.
What's that man's name? Not Larry. What the hell's his name?
Bob, Frank, Jojo, Thomas.
I want to say Strowman, but that's not right. Shit. Oh, and next. Who got next?
Oh, I was gonna say,
I can't remember.
Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing is really good.
Oh, we're gonna throw Brian K. Vaughan in there because Saga has got people by the hoo-ha. Okay.
Why the Last Man?
Yes.
God.
I am taking a drink to that one, Michael.
Nice.
Man, if you read Why the Last Man, you felt everything in every page. It's like, bro, get your shit together, man. you clueless, but they are fucking with you right now.
I know I mentioned him already, but Hickman's run on Fantastic Four is the reason why I got Hickman's run on Avengers, Hickman's run on X-Men, because I was like, he got me back into X-Men. Because the minute he was announced, I said, I'm back in. And if you ever get a chance to read Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, please do. That, once again, Glenn mentioned it earlier, world building. Absolute world building. And long form story. He plants those seeds at the beginning. There's literally a 2-page spread of Valeria Richards in her crayon drawing of stuff that has not happened yet. And you're just looking at it like, what does all of this mean? and it plays out his entire run, and it plays out. I'm like, that's how you tell a story. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And one of those stories he tells was about Ben Grimm.
Ooh.
And that shit was heartbreaking.
The one about the yeah.
He was the last, literally the last of the superheroes alive in New York. He outlived everyone. And despite the way it was built, despite him, you know, always dealing with his appearance and having a problem with his appearance and everything else, he was regarded one of the greatest heroes of New York City. Yet he was still alone because everyone he knew, his own family and every hero he used to fight with alongside, gone. He's the only one left. And he cried happy tears at his death. I'm like, this should not hit that hard.
But it does. I'll say more recently it'd be Chip Zdarsky, but that's the only reason I got back.
I was gonna say Chip Zdarsky.
With his Daredevil run, with Punisher running the hand, being the demon of the hand. That was interesting.
They give Frank any kind of job at this point.
They just bring Frank back just for a run and then kill him right back off.
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to say Mike Mignola.
Ooh.
Because Hellboy
got
everybody. I don't care who you are. You knew who the BPRD was.
Yeah.
After you watched Hellboy. Or you read Hellboy.
The Crooked Man. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah. Lady M, you had something?
Dwayne McDuffie.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Of course.
Why you at it? Milestone period. Just the whole milestone camp. The whole milestone camp. They brought. Not only did they bring the A game stayed there.
Yeah.
And when they disappeared, we were just like, "Where is it at?" And then they brought back the A game again.
I can't think of any. Okay, I'm tapped. As far as things goes,
the way McDuffie does not. I don't think he gets as much credit as he should.
Agreed.
Right.
Because not just Milestone, but the animated series of Justice League, and then Static Shock. Just
agreed. Or you could say Dennis Cowan's run on The Question, because before he hit Milestone, that man made The Question genuinely one of the most relatable characters around, simply because he had no powers. He was a detective, but was all he had. And
it's funny because when you see the detect, like, okay, I'll use the Justice League animated. When you finally see Batman and The Question interact, it's it's kind of like he's on par with what I need him to be, but God, this dude is way outside the mark. I swear to God. And the guy they got him they got the voice in Jeffrey Combs. I'm like, you got the crazy son of a bitch to actually voice the question. It actually works. I'll take it. The
level of annoyance he had with Batman still is funny.
Was priceless. Absolutely priceless.
And it was calm annoyance. That's the crazy part. He was calm and annoying. Yep. Yeah. Sexual. Yeah. Yep.
So Glenn, for you, who were the comic writers that have influence on you with your creativity?
For me, so I'm very horrible when it comes to names. Someone's click.
We got you.
Okay, cool.
You got Justice League of names right here. We got
right,
this.
Cool.
No.
So for me, Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
That one for me, I don't know why, it was just different comic book wise, and I think it was one of the very first, actually, like the first time I stayed in Barnes and Noble, read the whole comic and took it home. I had to.
Okay.
That one and the original Miles comic for sure.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Yep.
Yes.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, that one was a way different because when the movie came out, I was like, a couple of people were like, oh, this is completely different from the comic. And I'm like, you guys have no idea. how kind of how kind of way different it is. So, but like I did like the comic, some pieces about it like a little bit better, but I do, of course, the movie, it's on a different level. This is real. Those two and Flash Paradox,
Flashpoint Paradox.
Flashpoint.
Yes, Flashpoint. That whole comic run for me.
Okay.
I don't know, what is it when Doom and Gloom comics come out and they're they're written,
but it's the
perfectly.
way they're told. It's
the
way they're told.
Mm-hmm.
Peter David's Hulk is a good move. Mark Millar. Something about Mark Millar's writing.
Kingsman, come on.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. And his whole
Secret Service.
That was good.
Warren Ellis. Warren Ellis is another one.
Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
Come on, people watched Preacher. If you did not
You
watch
had
Preacher,
read it. Good God.
Wow.
Oh man, I got that entire series run. It's in my closet. Jesus. I'm like the debauchery of it all.
Well, when you got that power, you can make a certain person do certain things that are kind of unspeakable.
But it's always funny when you see like The Boys. The Boys was done by Garth Ennis. And yet when people watch it, they feel like they know everything until you talk to one of us and like, no. You have no idea.
Yeah.
You're getting an Elseworlds version of this story right now.
Don't even pretend. And his whole purpose behind that is because he hated. They kept wanting to do a superhero book. He doesn't like doing superhero books. Hence him doing The Boys, which is I'm like, yo,
The Boys is completely different than the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that,
Worse.
Oh yes.
Way worse. So much darker.
Yes, and I think for me also was the Walking Dead comic, and I know he did the
Robert Kirkman
right after. Yes. Especially knowing where the how it actually was created, The Walking Dead, and he kind of like lied, being like, "This is an alien invasion," just to kind of get it out there and just not to do that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And it's funny you mentioned Robert Kirkman because Invincible, his run on Invincible.
Oh yeah,
till this day, such a great run.
It is.
I'm like I love that series, and it's very hard to get a series like that. Tout that you're one of the greatest comic books in the market, which it was. Tell your beginning, your middle, and your end, and be successful at doing so.
Yes. With the only disappointment I have with that is that the show doesn't come out at least once a year. I don't like waiting 3 years for that show.
This daggone wait. Oh my god. This wait is criminal at best. Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
Is a great impact. Scott Snyder's run. There's Ed Brubaker.
Yes.
I stand by Ed Brubaker.
Criminal. Oh, can we talk about Brian Azzarello? Because I think 100 Bullets started that vengeance with a contract. The whole trope, that whole storyline. Because if you've never read a story where, okay, you want vengeance? All right, here's what I'm going to do. In this briefcase, you have contract, you have a weapon, and you have 100 bullets. You won't get arrested. You won't be prosecuted. But you need to complete this contract or it's just going to go sideways.
Very much.
Wow.
Gail Simone.
Woo! Come on.
Gail Simone. The women aren't getting enough shine, but trust me, if you're here, you're getting it. Gail Simone.
Al Ewing. His run on Immortal Hulk was ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
but it was crazy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was so good.
What is Eve Ewing? Eve Ewing's another run. Her run on Black Panther is amazing too. Short-lived, and I hate it. But I think she's on. What is she? Is she doing? It's not Storm.
It's X.
She is doing an X title. I just can't.
And I was looking at it today at work. Damn it!
It's one of the X titles, and yes,
Exceptional X-Men or Uncanny?
Is not
I think
Uncanny.
it's
I think it's
Is
exceptional.
it exceptional?
It might be exceptional.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, Whoopty. Stephanie Williams.
Yes, bless her heart. Yes, Stephanie and Asia
Writing Nubia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and Moon Girl and Moon Girl and Devil Dino.
Moon Girl,
So
Devil Dino.
there's a lot of influence. I don't think we get. I think the influences that we get now in the mainstream aren't as prominent as they were before. Because all the ones we just named, like they were mainstay. Like we didn't even mention Jim Starlin or any of these guys, you know,
Right.
or Roy Harper for that matter. But we have, a lot of those runs are intense, like really good run. They're actually like springboards to like, you know what is going to get me into XYZ. Like if you want to read like you said, Navy, you want to read a really good Green Lantern story, read Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern. Flat out. You want to get introduced to the world of Black Panther, start with Don McGregor's run. And if you want more modern, Christopher Priest.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Reginald Hudlin, he's another one. You know, who ran on that was amazing. So a lot of these other ones, they have a lot of independent comics, like offshoot comics that's not with the main two or main three now, I should say. And they're good. You're just like, okay, yeah.
We wouldn't have had, if it wasn't for Marv Wolfman, we wouldn't have had Blade and the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah.
Some of the ones are so obvious, a lot of people don't realize that there was work put into it, from the 60s Titans to the new Teen Titans that everyone identifies with. Oh my gosh. Brother Blood was tearing them a new butthole. Oh my
Between Brother Blood and Deathstroke.
And Deathstroke.
Deathstroke did a Robin a night of palpitations.
Deathstroke like, I don't like any of y'all, but I like you. Oh, sir. No. Exactly, Obi. I couldn't have put it better myself, bro. He's spitting.
So, Lady M, I know there was some other female writers that are escaping my name other than the ones we just named.
Yeah.
But they're coming, but they're like up and coming. Well, I don't want to say up and coming. They're more like under the surface, I guess is the best way to say it.
Well, I'm just gonna throw.
Amanda Connor.
Okay, yeah, Amanda Connor.
Yep.
All I'm thinking of is my friends that I see at the cons every year, whose stuff I get, and they're they should be up there, but they're not yet. Shit. I can't think of anybody but authors right now. I can't think of comics. I'm gonna say it. There's not enough women in comics for me to.
I would say
like that.
I wouldn't say it's not enough. I think it's. I don't. It's you're right. It's not enough.
It's not
but
enough.
It's not enough. But it's not enough. Exactly. It's not enough that's being recognized. Is the best way to put it. Because a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But we don't hear about them a lot.
No.
Because when I found out Eve Ewing was writing on Black Panther, I said, "Well, I'm getting Black Panther regardless. That's my MO." However, I want to see her run on it. I want to see her take on it. And me and Kira both said it. We were like, I want to see her write Storm. I need to see her write Storm. I want to see her write Storm. I need to see her. So, is it a work in progress? I should hope so.
Frustrated.
That right there was a response from all of us.
Holy cow! That was an explosion right there.
Because I'm so mad. I'm mad. It's okay. Like I get it. It's been a male-dominated field for fucking ever. I get it, but you can't get 5. You can't get 5 out of everybody. You can't get 5 on the staff to write a book just on a regular basis. You mean to tell me that nobody's into any of these stories like that? You can only get 2 at a time. Every 10. I'm gonna go on a rant.
Curveball.
Oh, you're good.
He writes good fiction.
I want.
Will be a great comic book writer. Oh, he means like fiction. Not that's somebody that's not in comics,
right?
Yeah.
But somebody that writes fiction. Okay.
So like, for me, the 2 animes and mangas that I read to actually get me actually a lot better at writing emotional stories, and I actually point this out to a lot of people, are 2, and they're always mainstream and they're always on everyone's list. One is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that was written by a woman. That's actually taught me how to actually write emotional stories. And one right now that is getting ready to come out with 3 movies, and I honestly think it'll probably be one of the first anime movies to hit $1 billion 3 times in a row, is Demon Slayer. That was also written by a woman. So I do think a lot of the times in manga and stuff, it's starting to kind of happen. A lot more women, their stories always get a lot of people into anime, and it's so much easier for people to access this stuff because the stories are a lot like broader, emotional, also free written to my knowledge, written by women. So I mean, I know everyone, I think it's going to win a couple awards this year. But that's on like the anime portion of stuff.
That's still.
I think that's something, right? I think that's something that needs to be really addressed. Afua Richardson. I don't know how I forgot her. She's been on the show, but Afua Richardson, she does amazing work.
N.K. Jemisin.
Yes.
Although I think I'm gonna look it up. I think she wrote something,
or
she got picked to write something recently.
She did write something recently. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Afua Richardson.
Yeah. Nindi Okorafor.
Yeah.
I was hoping I wouldn't. I was hoping I wouldn't, because I was like, I know she's on it. Her name is there. I was like, I just hope I don't butcher it. But yeah, she's an amazing writer. There's several.
Hold on.
I got a list in front of me now. Jamila Rouser is another one. Yeah. Girl Gone Geek. I hate to say it, Ernest Klein, Ready Player One. Okay.
T. Franklin. She had a run on Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson. Harley Quinn, Harley Davidson. It's heard a motorcycle outside. Sorry.
But I think I need to do a show that centers around Black female comic book writers, mainstream and independent.
I'm gonna butcher her name. I think it's Shiran J. Zhao, who wrote the book Iron Widow. That bitch needs a fucking series.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Oh, you mean this book right here?
Okay, that might be why.
I didn't know. That's. I don't know.
She went to her shelf. Yes,
I did. I sure did.
Leave it up.
Yep.
Here we go.
Ooh, Iron Widow. Yeah, there we go. Lights hitting.
That looks
There we go.
Ziran
That looks good. That cover looks.
Baby, the inside's just as good. Let me tell you something about a book.
Oh my goodness! So we're getting ready to wrap this one up. We're getting ready to set it up. So here we go.
Wrap up protocol initiated, Captain.
My man Glenn Dickson in the building. Talk to the people. Tell them where they can find you.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram. That's actually where I'm more active. It's sensei_honor, and honor is H. There it is, 0N0R. And then also Valkyrie is on Webtoons until October 20th, and then I will have my own website promoting everything.
Oh, nothing like getting it for yourself, boy. I tell you what. Lady Mandel, talk to the people.
I firstly want to apologize. I misgendered, God damn it. Yeah, not misgendered. I should have said they as opposed to she. Yeah, their book is fire. But yeah, hi. I am me on the internet. You can find me on Instagram at Roomful of Blerds, TikTok, all of the socials. It's all going to be Roomful of Blerds. You can find me on my podcast with my lovely timed lighting here. You can find me on YouTube with
It's closing time.
It is. You can find me on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the lovely Blurdicorn Navy Montel. I also do voice acting, which you can see some of my wares on TikTok. I like to do research now. I'm refinding in myself. I'm not gonna turn the light back on because I'm supposed to go to bed. So yeah. Y'all just gonna have to get the after dark. Ooh, mysterious.
Oh
After dark.
Lord.
With the shadow, the perfectly timed shadow.
No.
You need the Lord after dark.
After
Lord.
dark. Yes.
Jesus.
Anyway, yeah, get your asses on.
Shoyo, talk to the people.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Shoyo. You can catch me on Twitch or Instagram mainly. Also YouTube. I stream Friday through Sunday. A variety of different games, or you are free to join us in my Discord. My links are all in all of my social media bios. We have good fun in there.
It's for the Lord.
Shoyo, I'm getting back into gaming, and I said I'm going to just go into PC gaming for a little bit and see how that turns out. I might start streaming.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing better than PC gaming, to be honest.
Yeah, apparently, because this console stuff is, man, look.
$700 for an extra gig of hardware? You must be out your gut.
You can literally simulate almost everything from your PC too, like for old game. Yeah, you can literally. Yeah.
Man, look,
We'll talk behind the scenes. We'll get set
some
up.
things I'm looking at myself, and I'm like, you know what? It ain't got to be the new stuff, but you know, let's go. Navy, talk to the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, blurs of all ages, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Once again, it is I, number 6 of the Frosty Bearded Blurdicorn of this amazing podcast with this dynamic crew. Glenn, thank you so much for being here, brother. You are adding to the scope of this beautiful tapestry of creators. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. Do not do it. If you want to know what weird stuff I'm up to, come check me out, Navy Montel, across all social media handles as far as the eye can see. I don't go on X because I'm better than that.
I'm gonna lie, I'm getting ready to get rid of X my damn self. Jesus.
So I will say this, and I did put out a TikTok and a reel on this. The age of the pop quiz is done, y'all. It is about time. You need to stop having people prove to you that they are who they say they are. Their passion should speak for it. If you are questioning somebody, perhaps you should question yourself. Or better yet, stay home, because we don't want you at the cons, the conventions, or anything like that. We don't want you around. You're bad for the kids. The kids are going to point and start teasing you. So guess what? Stay home. It's better for you. Obi will stick his finger out and tease you. So if you want that, come on out. But for the most part, continue to stay nerdy, stay geeky, and stay sexy.
Spartan, talk to the people. Gatekeeping is whack.
It is.
Dance is whack. They clothes is whack.
I think you're gonna bring back for a second. I think you're gonna bring back for a second. But yes, Black_Spartan615 on the socials where you can find me. Usually doing everything, including gym stuff. Why? Because the guy's got 3 kids and he's got to stay in shape. That being said, guys, podcast is still going on. How the Freck we got here every Wednesday, Get Bit every Friday, both at 7 p.m. Like and share, as the Reverend Navy would say. Like, share, and follow. Costs absolutely nothing. At the same time, guys, please check out the blerdseyeview.org website, as we are all writers and we do contribute to the site. At the same time, guys, again, the rules still apply when cosplaying. Cosplay is for everybody. Cosplay is not consent. Treat people like human beings. At the same time, guys, cosplaying is for everybody, regardless of your height, weight, sexual preference, or anything of that nature. Just don't do blackface. That is the only thing. That is the only rule in cosplay. Don't do blackface. Won't get your ass kicked. Rule number 2 is hygiene. I love the fact that I'm seeing people take airplane-sized deodorants and lotions to cons. Although it really shouldn't have to say that. We're all grown adults. The simple fact of the matter is, wear clean clothes, be clean yourself, especially with COVID and everything else going back around again, because nasty people stay nasty. I hate y'all. And the last rule that I have for myself is I have for everybody else, guys, in the world that is cruel, it is unkind. Be nice, be kind, share your fandoms. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool.
Right on. Guess what, everybody? This is your man on the wall, Chris Fury. Thank you to my guest, our guest, Glenn Dickson, for tuning in. Thank you to the crew. Shoyo looks like she's already getting ready to stream right now.
If streaming is hitting these sheets, then I will be streaming.
With the news that went out, do you really want to go with that statement?
I was gonna say that might be.
I'm hitting.
We almost made the whole episode. We
Just saying.
1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant cannot be wrong. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. For everybody that's on IG and Twitch and YouTube, you can check us out every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on those channels. You can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. We drop the next day at 8 a.m. in the morning. So you can listen to us while you're at work, have a couple laughs, get some information, get your latest new independent artist book or whatever the case may be. With all that, thank you to the team. Thank you to our guest. Remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, educate yourself, encourage yourself and others. Good Lord, it's been that long, and we're episode 3 in.
Engage yourself. Make sure you engage yourself.
Hey, might as well. I might have to do that. Hey, the way things. Hey, look, that's what got Diddy in trouble. So
good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We will see you on Thursday. We'll be talking about Agatha all along, so stay tuned. We're gonna have a ride. See ya.
Bye.